Shalom. First thing first, I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Salaki, those that rule well and all learned this truth from. Salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth in all sincerity and diligence, risking your lives and freedoms to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect. As we all await the second Exodus coming quickly, all right, by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah, this is your brother Kagabar. He'll be doing a lesson touching on the fact that the Lord is speeding time up once again. All right, the Lord is speeding time up for the elect's sake, man. All right, and you have it to where, these scientists are saying that the Earth today is going to spin the fastest it's ever spun. All right, the Earth is it's supposed to be the shortest day in history as far as the Earth spinning. Okay, not in the sense of, when you deal with the solstices, the summer solstice, you have the most daylight in a day, which, pretty much starts summer. And then in the winter solstice, you have the shortest amount of daylight. Okay, so not in that sense, but in a sense to where they're saying the Earth is spinning. I believe they said like 1.5 milliseconds faster. Okay, meaning what? The day will be shorter. All right. And, through the spirit, I don't necessarily believe that, the 1.5 milliseconds or whatever Esau throws out there. OK, because he doesn't really understand what's going on. OK, he's trying to, conceptualize it. All right, if you will. But really, we know that the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah, said that he would do this, man. And this is a phenomenon because, apparently, like I said, this is supposed to be the fastest it's spun on record. All right.
So breaking the news. Scientists are warning tomorrow and for the next few months, days will be shorter than ever. Some of the shortest in history because the Earth is spinning a lot faster than usual. There was filler space there because I needed everybody to understand what the fuck I just read and said out of my mouth. I did. The Earth is spinning.
Yeah. All right. And like I said, Esau can't really explain why. Okay. It's happening. Let's look at this.
We're about to experience the shortest day in history because the Earth's acceleration is going faster. So the shortest day in history is going to happen July 9th, July 22nd, or August 5th, 2025. Guess how long? 1.6 milliseconds. Ah! But this still is a little concerning. They don't know why it's happening.
And that's why, I don't believe it's, through the spirit what Esau claims, because just for the simple fact that everybody can feel it and experience that these days are going by much quicker, man. Even when we go to camp, we make it to camp each week, we're like, dang, man, it seemed like we was just out here. All right. And this is already July the 9th. And, it feels as though this year just started maybe, a couple months ago, when you had all that shit popping off with Trump, and shit. And now here we are at July, man. And it's like every day, every time you wake up, it's like, oh, your curse day is right around the corner. Okay, and that occurs every year, but it seems like it comes just much quicker now, man. All right, because this is the reason why. Matthew 24 and 22, it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. And you can see that times are getting much, much harder on the planet Earth, man. And this devil is beginning to come down with wrath, great wrath. So the Lord is speeding time up because, he's ultimately not going to let Esau, fully perform his enterprise. OK, he's only going to get so far with this whole, AI and this digital system, this digital, this technocracy. All right, which we see it is pretty much in place. They're just waiting for chaos and a collapse to, bring it online. But, in all reality, the Lord is going to shorten the time so that way he can get this devil up out of the way, man. All right, it says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay, so the Lord shortened the days for the sake of his elect. Okay, 2nd Ezra 2 and 13, it says, go and ye shall receive. It says, pray for a few days unto you that they may be shortened. So we're ultimately commanded to pray for a few days, for shorter days, man. Or in other words, for the Lord to speed time up. Now, however Esau explained it, oh, the earth is spinning faster and, we're losing a millisecond every day and blah, blah, blah. In reality, man, the Lord is just speeding time up because he exists outside of our concept of time. So whatever Esau tries to conceptualize, in reality, man, the Lord is controlling, all right, this quote unquote time clock, if you will, man. All right. And Esau don't really know what the hell is going on as to why. But, we know it's Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man.
Shortest day on earth is coming. But wait a minute, it's the middle of summer. How can the day be short? Well, according to scientists, the rotation of the earth has unexpectedly sped up. But don't worry, it's not by a lot, just 1.5 milliseconds. But it's enough of a rotational increase in speed that it's now considered the shortest day of the year, rotationally speaking. So scientists have warned that the Earth's rotation is expected to speed up quicker than ever before, making it the shortest day of your life. So apparently July 9th, July 22nd, and August 5th have the rotations of the Earth speeding up between 1.3 and 1.51 milliseconds, shorter than the standard day. So Earth's
Right. And like I said earlier, not the shortest day in the sense to where, when you had a winter solstice, all right, the sun is, you have less sunlight, less daylight than normal. But in a sense to where overall, apparently, this is not a 24-hour day. 24-hour days, apparently, these are not 24-hour days anymore, man. And I, it truly feels like that, man. With just how quick these days go by. All right. And like I said, Esau says 1 millisecond, this and that. But like I said, it feels much quicker than that, man. Weeks turned into days. All right. Months turned into weeks. Okay. Years turned into months is what we're experiencing, man. All right.
rotation has sped up in recent years, with scientists observing the phenomenon on the atomic clock starting in 2020. So scientists have no idea why this is. They say it could be because of a weakening magnetic field, or it could be because of motion in the Earth's core.
Yeah, they don't have any idea why it is. All right, and Earth is out of balance. Got all these earthquakes in many different places. And these different natural disasters all also could be a reason as to why, or a byproduct of what's going on, man. Like I said, the Lord is stirring this shit up, man. The Lord is working on this place, man. This is the reason why there's all these different natural phenomena and shit taking place. And Esau, like he said, these scientists, they don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, they got to try to explain it away to where people don't panic and freak out. But this is what it is. It says the last 5 years, it's felt like 12-hour days and 4 hours sleep in between. Yeah, man. And again, everybody can attest to this. That's the thing about it, man. Everybody can pretty much attest to it. Okay, that this is what it is. And they say that, like I said, the Earth is spinning faster, but really the moon, the sun and the moon, being in the sky, being up there, pretty much perform their circuits, all right, on the Earth is really what dictates time, man. That's why you had the solstices, where they say the day is longer or the daylight is shorter, but really that's what dictates, the time. And that's this is a quick example in Joshua 10 and 12. It says, then spake Joshua to Yahweh in the day when Yahweh delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ahalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. All right, so the sun stayed still, and it was pretty much up for 24 hours. See? So that would technically have been, like one of the longest daylight days, all right, in history. Okay, but that's ultimately how we get our concept of time is with the sun and the moon, man. Those heavenly instruments. All right. The moon is the month. The word month is literally derived from the word moon. That's why we know when the new moon comes in, when it's all, blacked out, that new moon represents a new month. And then that's why the moon has phases, because those phases ultimately dictate, in a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you can base it off of the phases of the moon. So that's what truly kind of ordains, time. Okay, but like I said, Esau said the earth spinning faster and, yada, yada, yada. But in reality, man, this is the reason why, is because the Lord is about to deliver his elect. So we don't have much longer here, brothers. We always pray that, this is the final year, okay, because we're supposed to be in that spirit of hastening. But in reality, hey, as quick as things move, man, you go to sleep, close your eyes and wake up, man. This is, we may be in a whole new year and shit's gotten much more devastating than it was previously, And so ultimately the point is that before long, we're going to get the fuck up out of here, man. But that's really it on that. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shah. DTY Baba Ball. Shalom.